Yeah, buddy. That's what I
Hello.
said.
Anchor shot.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Anchor shot.
That needs to go. That needs to go now.
What exactly needs to go?
Don't even.
Anchor shot.
Don't even, bro.
What are you talking about?
Bro, I saw discourse on Twitter this week talking about how good a main character Rex is. And I'm like, you didn't sit through the same 60 to 80 hours
Anchor
I sat
shot.
through.
Hey, the people of Twitter know what they're talking about. You're just the hater.
I am.
Anchor shot.
And there's a good reason for that.
What exactly is that? Yeah, is that good? You thirsty? You
That squirt, baby.
he's got that squirt.
Got that squirt.
Ooh.
All right. So we are live. We are back another week. Week 3. Pretty consistent. This is probably the most consistent we've ever been with a podcast. 3 weeks in a row. This is,
By far.
This is unprecedented territory for us. It feels
By
a little weird.
Sometimes we do 2 in a week and then not do anything for 4 months.
And then the next thing you know, it all goes down the shitter. But times have changed. We're going into the new year as a new group, a new pod.
New year, new me.
Yeah, exactly. New year, new me. So yeah, so how you guys doing, Cisco? What you been up to?
Well, right now I'm eating a jerk plate.
What exactly is a jerk plate?
Jerk chicken, rice and beans, sauteed cabbage, some mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm. That actually sounds pretty good.
I do not need more mac and cheese.
I
really don't.
Look, so the listeners and the viewers know, I was over at Cisco's house last week and he made some mac and cheese. Godly. Amazing. Took some home with me, had it the next day. Still really good. Highly recommend Cisco's mac and cheese.
It is my aunt's recipe.
Ooh.
But yeah, we stole it, so it's mine now.
She don't gotta know. I won't tell
So what
her.
do you make it with?
So obviously
Cheese.
you boil the macaroni and you get some cheese and you throw it in the oven.
All right. So after
that's
it,
pretty
do you
much
put
it.
any seasoning? Is what I'm saying.
So all right, I'll give you a very quick rundown of how it works, because I actually just learned the recipe pretty recently.
This is exclusive.
So
this is exclusive here for the viewers.
right, this is exclusive. Look, if you're hearing this before we hit 1,000 subscribers, you're lucky, because soon enough it's going on the Patreon. You have to pay for it. But so
Gotta get up that paywall.
Yeah.
So you obviously you boil the macaroni and cheese. You boil it for about 11, 12 minutes. You want it to be just the right amount of soft. If it's too, because I guess people can cook it however they like, however you like your macaroni and cheese. But if you like your macaroni and cheese hard, there's something wrong with you.
Who in their
Agreed.
right mind?
Agreed.
Who likes hard mac and cheese?
I have met some people. Let me tell you, some people like their pasta a little harder.
That's
You might as well just buy it, eat it from the box then. Jesus.
I bet you there's somebody who does that too.
ugh.
I did not need to know that.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. So obviously, you boil your macaroni and cheese, and then you want to make a cheese sauce, and you use 2 cans of evaporated milk. You want to get yourself a 16 ounce of Velveeta cheese, and you cut it up into little cubes. And you slowly feed the cubes in, and you stir it with a whisk to make a nice cheese sauce. You can add in some shredded cheese. We use 3 different flavors, whichever flavors, it doesn't matter as long as the cheese is yellow. White cheese has a completely different texture and taste, so you can do it. It'll just taste different. And so you sprinkle that in to make it thicker. The sprinkled cheese, into the cheese sauce. and then you just add a little bit of salt and some black pepper, honestly, because most of the flavor comes from the Velveeta and the sprinkled cheese. Once you make the cheese sauce, you stir it in with the macaroni, and you want to lay it out in layers in a glass pan, preferably glass. I guess you can do metal with some foil if you want, but glass tends to work the best. And so you put on the first layer, then you sprinkle a thick layer of cheese on top of it, and you put on the second layer of macaroni and put another thick sprinkle of cheese on top of that. You stick it in the oven, cover it in some foil for 20 minutes, and then you take the foil off and you put it back in the oven for another 20 or so minutes, and it should come out nice and crispy, baby.
Wow, so
Thank
you
you.
put a
Thank
lot
you.
of cheese on it.
And don't add bacon, okay? I know you all white people
All right,
like to
yeah.
add bacon to everything. Don't add bacon.
Don't add bacon.
I didn't
You'll
think
ruin it.
about
I
it.
don't like
I didn't
bacon
think
either.
about no. That wouldn't ruin it. Bacon would only enhance that.
Nah, don't add
Yeah,
bacon.
bacon would
Nah, I
enhance
don't
that.
think.
Nah,
Nah.
I might, pour some ranch over it, some bacon,
man, this is what I get for taking you
throw some-
serious.
throw some chicken.
Knowing me, I'd probably
know?
put ketchup on it.
Anchor
No.
shot.
This is what I get. This is what I get for taking you seriously. For even a second.
You thought I was lying, Jake?
All right.
Jake,
Well,
what
anyway,
have you been up to?
anyway, how are you guys doing?
Go ahead, Jake.
I'm doing great. I've actually been doing some research on the Game Awards stuff since we're going to talk about that today. And tomorrow I'm heading out to Milwaukee, and then I got to go to Poland in a couple weeks. So I'm starting to slowly get some stuff done. So yeah, lots of stuff going on for me in the holidays coming up.
He's going to go visit his people.
He's going to visit his people.
I'm going to the motherland.
His people in Poland. Hey, why don't you speak a little bit of Polish for the viewers today?
Hello, cześć. Moje imię jest Jakub, nazwisko Zdanowski. I jestem tu z moją dwie najlepsze przyjaciółki. Albo znajomymi. We have like 3 different. So I just basically said the boys, though I did it in a much more Polish formal manner. But there's also like 3 different words in Polish for friends, because it's like there's like a regular friend, an acquaintance, and like a best friend or whatever. So,
What are
stuff
we?
like
Yeah,
that.
that's
So
a good question.
I would
Which one?
probably
Are we, Jake?
obviously best friends, but like so like
Wrong
you guys
answer.
would be like the top category for that.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer. I'm not friends with you.
Wow.
We're acquaintances. We're Fire Emblem acquaintances.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah, you guys
We're
don't
only
want to know what
soldiers in
goes
the
on in the Discord. These two with Fire Emblem in the Discord. Well, I'll post one thing. The next thing I know, I'll come back in 20 minutes later, and there's 100 messages about God knows what.
That's just the
All
moment.
Fire Emblem. All Fire Emblem. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know about how things are going for me. Just
that's
the other
cool.
day, the
It's good
furnace
to know.
went out. The furnace
good to
went
know.
out.
good to
So
know.
I'm sitting here in the heat from a heater. No heat in the house. So,
Oh, no.
stay warm if you can. That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh no.
Trying to stay warm if I can. The motor should be here in a couple of days, hopefully. We'll see.
Are you fixing it
This is
This
yourself?
is never fun.
Hopefully. When the motor gets here, hopefully I'll be fixing it myself.
Yeah, no, we don't want to pay that extra money.
No, someone did come look at it though, and that's gonna be a price I don't want to have to deal with if I don't have to.
Yeah,
What
no
is that,
kidding.
like $500 to get it checked?
No, to get it checked, it was the estimate out was like $50. But I mean, if
All right.
if we have to get a new furnace, he was talking about that being like near 3,000. But there's really no point in getting the brand new furnace without getting the AC replaced along with it. So it's probably a little more like six to seven.
Gonna need some more
You
Ben
know, big
Franklins
moves.
for that one.
Ben Franklin knows who I am.
I
Bitch.
knew- Yeah, all for the wrong reasons. Ben Franklin knows who
Ben
I am.
Franklin
All
knows
for
who
the
I
wrong
am,
reasons.
bitch. Ben Franklin knows who I am,
Fuck
bitch.
outta- Uh,
I
that
hate
was,
that.
that-
I hate the dude in the background going, "Ooh."
Oh man, we can't cut him off. Though.
hopefully Ben
Alright.
Franklin doesn't have to know who I am. That's all I know.
Yeah, I ain't trying to be acquainted with Ben Franklin right now.
Yeah. All right. So for today's episode, we don't have a lot to talk about, but we do have a couple of main topics that we're going to touch on. We're going to be talking about the Game Awards. We'll probably also end up talking about, our games of the year or just like things within gaming that happened this year. We'll probably touch on. But before we get into that, we're going to be picking up on a topic that we were talking about last week because why wouldn't more stuff be going on within the Smash community?
Yeah, Smash drama.
Smash
Oh,
drama.
man.
I don't really even remember where we left off last week, where it was at in the timeline. I want to say Panda released their first statement at that time, or maybe it was their. Maybe they hadn't released one yet.
It was Panda released their statement just after our podcast, where I just went ahead and covered everything that had happened up to that point, all the implications, everything that was implied that we knew at the time, that people were figuring, the rumors, things like that. And so that was pretty much just like when SWT had just announced they were probably going to have to cancel.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna just assume most people know what's going on by now. If you want to give a little, like a very, very, very quick rundown of where it's at, and then we can kind of go from there.
No, they can. If you guys want to know, go watch go type Smash drama in the YouTube.
Yeah, it's
search
literally
box.
everywhere.
Everywhere, literally.
Yeah.
I guess the only other update is that there's been not the only update, but I guess the first update is that thing that's not going on with Panda Global. Well, now there's a mass exodus of a lot of their largest members, their players. Like a lot of their top players are leaving from Melee and Ultimate.
I mean,
and other
basically
fighting
all
games.
of them. Basically every
Yeah.
last one of them.
And the largest Smash content creator, Little Z, announced he was leaving a couple of days ago. I think it may have just been yesterday, actually.
Oof.
Dude's got like 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they had like, I didn't even know who that guy was, if I'm being honest with you. I knew more of the players and the announcers for Smash, who are all leaving. All really big names within the community. And what I'm trying to figure out is if so the CEO stepped down, Alan, right? He say he's stepping down.
Yep.
And then he also posts this is my favorite part. this is my favorite part of the whole thing. He said that Smash World Tour is lying. And what else did he say? Was it VGB Boot Camp?
Yeah, he said Smash World Tour and VG Bootcamp are lying, and that Beyond the Summit, threaten the entire or the integrity of the Smash community. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I'm trying to say here is, people within the Smash community love to jump to conclusions really, 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 really quickly off of whatever the first bit of information is.
Yep.
And it does indeed sound like Alan did some pretty shitty things, just because it's not just one person saying this. It's coming from multiple different sources of people who are, saying that he has done some shitty things. But this is also the Smash community, and I wouldn't put it past Smash World Tour if they did, bend the truth a little bit with what they had to say. I don't know if that's actually what's happening here, but we've seen before, back in the summer of 2020, how many people got caught up in things
Mhm.
and how many times it ended up maybe not being quite as bad as it sounded originally.
And things never went back. They never went, or they were never the same with those people
Right.
at all.
And it's just because the Twitter mob of attack on the very first bit of information that you hear, it can ruin someone's career and life, for that
Mhm.
matter, and there's no way of coming back from it. So what I'm saying is, I think there's a chance, very small chance, but I think there is a chance that maybe what we heard about Panda isn't quite as bad as it sounded, and it could truly mess up the Smash community for forever.
Yeah.
They might not ever recover from it, because it definitely sounds like Nintendo doesn't want to work with the community.
Yeah, no.
I mean, big
That's for sure.
shocker there. But when Smash World Tour was basically asking, like, hey, can we run this without a license? And they said those times are over. That does not sound promising at all. That doesn't sound promising at all. So, man,
No, it really doesn't.
well, what do you guys think though? How do you think this is going to play out?
It's hard to say. I think a lot hangs on what Alan's statement is. I think Nintendo is going to do their best to defend the circuits they put together already, just because they've already put so much time and investment into it. And I think they finally decided that they want a piece of that pie. Because even though the Smash community, or the competitive community, is only a small part of the Smash community at large, they generate quite a bit of income.
Yeah.
So I think a lot depends on that. However, I do think the Smash community will live. I think there's no way that the whole thing dies. The landscape could definitely be altered forever. That is true. But I don't think there's any chance that this giant game loses its competitive scene.
No, I agree with that. I don't think, what I was saying is, I don't think it's going to die off completely. People who want to play competitively, it's always going to be there. It just might not ever reach the heights that it was, what
That it was
that it was
going
just
to.
at, and that it was
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. But time and time again, we're just shown that there's just people within this community that just cannot be trusted. On one hand, it's awesome that this is a grassroots community. You get a lot of, like, when you're coming from just like DIY, and you're able to build yourself up to this point, you have just so much respect within the community. It feels really organic. That's the way I think everyone would probably want it to be.
Yeah.
To be able to say that, you did this without the help of Nintendo for so long, because I just think that's really cool. But I guess what you also get with that is a lot of people who find themselves in positions that they didn't really ever intend on being in, maybe becoming businessmen or whatever it might be. And
Yeah.
not that they're forced to be in that position, but things just kept growing to where they find themselves in very, very unique situations where there is money to be made, but some of these people, and I'm not saying Alan specifically, I'm just talking about the Smash community in general,
Yeah.
are put into these positions that they probably never saw themselves in. And maybe they came from a place where they maybe they grew up poor or very, like, didn't have much. And to be able to see this kind of money, you start to become a little I guess, like, greedy, to where I don't know if this is Alan's case, so I don't want to, like, say this is what he was doing, But I could just imagine somebody being in his position where like he doesn't want to see these other tournaments now putting on like taking away maybe the viewership of what Panda could have, especially once they have Nintendo's licensing now, like the very first organization to ever get that for Smash tournaments. You know, he
it's
might have
like
just been going around just telling people, hey, uh, I don't know if you're gonna want to put on that tournament. Nintendo might come and
right.
might
You
come
know,
and shut you down.
they aren't. You know, we're the only ones that are licensed. They're not
'Cause,
licensed, so
yeah,
I mean,
he wants the whole pie. He doesn't want just a piece of the pie. He wants the whole entire thing.
yeah, it very well could be a situation of like, man, I went in and I did the work to build Panda Global, and we're I want to be the best org, and we're the only ones that have ever gotten licensing from Nintendo, and they haven't gotten licensing from Nintendo, and for whatever reason they're bigger than us, and that shouldn't be because I'm the one that did all this work, and it's like I get what you mean, but at the end of the day, it's like if you're not top dog, there's a reason why you're not top dog, and you might want to figure that out before you go trying to shut other people down, because people aren't going to just come support your stuff long term just because you shut someone else down. They might for a little while, and then someone else is going to come and do the same formula the last guy you shut down did, and they're going to gain all your traction.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just trying to figure out what Alan might have.
Yeah.
Because judging by what he posts on Twitter here, and for my own selfishness and entertainment, it sounds like he's like, well, if I'm going down, you're all coming down with me. and I love that because I mean the situation sucks. It's awful, but I mean like if I can get some entertainment out of watching this burn to the ground, then I'm here to watch it. And so I would love for him to come out and just put out so much information, all the dirt on the Smash community that he knows. And watch this burn to the ground, because in some weird way I would like to kind of see it just restart. I would like to just see Smash start from the bottom again.
Hey, you know what? Announce a new game next year.
I was gonna
on
say,
top of it.
I don't know, because like didn't Sakurai say that this is like the last Smash or something?
The last one that he's going to participate in. Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay.
He said that when he made Brawl as well. So
that's fair.
That
And
man, he loves it so much, even though I'm sure he wants to be done. He's not going to be able to watch other people do what he knows he can do better.
Yeah, but I also wonder what he's thinking of watching the community with,
he doesn't.
with this situation.
Well, he doesn't care. This is what I was saying last week. He doesn't. He cares about competitive Smash, but I don't really think he cares about
like the drama and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
What he cares about, I'm sure Sakurai watches the tournaments. I'm sure, like, of course, how could you not, right?
He does.
There's no way a developer would not want to watch his game being played at the highest level. So I'm sure he watches the tournaments, but I highly doubt he pays attention to any Twitter drama.
And even if I'm sure it crosses his radar too. I'm sure it somewhat crosses his radar, and he knows probably about it. But he's just like, I'm not getting involved with that. Why should he?
Yeah.
Right. And even then, like he's marketed this more for the younger audience anyway. This game wasn't never designed to be for the competitive stage as much as it was for the younger audience and everything like that. And that's what it was marketed for. So.
Yeah, I think Melee flipped the script on that. It was definitely, I don't think it was ever meant to be played nearly as competitively as it became, which is partially what made it so good, is all the imperfections of Melee. and they can't make patches for it. So like they knew the game they had was like the game they're going to be, you know,
Yeah.
stuck with forever. The community, when they heard Brawl was announced, they probably thought they were just getting, you know, another Melee with more characters, and the game performed a lot differently, a lot slower. And when they made Brawl, they pretty much didn't want it to be competitive. Kind of shows you where Sakurai and Nintendo are coming from, at least in that era. And I think they realized by the time Smash 4 came around that people are going to play this competitively regardless. So we might as well, you know, program these characters at least in a way to where this can be played competitively. And then even with Smash 4 on a dead console doing as well as it did, I think with Ultimate, they really tried to do half and half. I think they really said, we want to make this game for the competitive community, and we want to make this game just for casuals 50-50. And so it's developed with competitive play in mind. I mean, that's why we get patches and things like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Smash 4 patches weren't anything like Ultimate patches.
Yeah, and
not to the same degree, at least.
So I'm losing my train of thought here a little bit, but the game is definitely not just made only for kids and a casual audience. It is, and I think that's where it came from, but I don't think it's that way anymore. And I also don't think this could lead us into a whole nother topic, and I'm down to get into it if you guys want to, because I love talking about it, but I don't think the next Smash is going to even, I don't want it to be Ultimate, and I don't think they're ever going to be able to do something like Ultimate ever again. I think there's a couple of different ways they can go to still make it awesome and an amazing game, and maybe even a better game than Ultimate, but we're never going to see the amount of characters and stages and
references.
It's in the name. It's in the name. It's the ultimate Smash game. It's it's never going to get to that level again.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, I highly doubt it. Maybe in another 30 years, if Smash is still around, they might do it one more time.
Yeah, but if they ever do like the live service thing, where it's like this is going to be Smash, and we're going to always add characters, and like just basically the next Smash game, if they say this is going to be the next Smash game for the next 20 years and they add to it here and there, maybe it can reach the heights of Ultimate, but I don't see them doing that either. But
no,
that's like the only other way I could see them getting to a big enough roster of where Ultimate's at least.
Yeah. But
if we go into that direction, before we get into that, let's at least finish off with the Smash drama in the community. I've been following it since last week, but still I'm not super tapped in. Jake, I don't think you're super tapped into it either. Cisco, I think you're definitely the most involved with it. Is there anything else we should know, or any last things that you want to say before we move on?
Last thing I'll say is, guys, some of you guys are too into this. Some of you guys are way too invested into this. And one example I don't have on hand. The other I can show you. And the first example is, people were, when Alan said that he had a response that he was typing up, people are like, bro, what took so long? And they were like, someone posted some screenshots of him, and it's like he was too busy playing 30 games of League, which is pretty funny. That all this is going on, and he was just chilling playing League of Legends. That is funny.
Is that real?
No, that is real. Like, they actually found him and his tag on League of Legends, and he was playing League of Legends.
No way.
30 hours. Jeez.
But I'll say no. Just 30 games. Just 30 games.
Oh, 30.
I don't know how long. I don't know how long a game lasts in League of Legends, so it could be 30 hours. But it's like it is funny. It is very funny that the serious stuff is going on and he's just playing League, but like at the end of the day, he is still only a human being. And like regardless of how this turns out, it's not like we want him to die or stop living his life, you know?
I completely forgot about something I want to say. I don't mean to cut you off, but something that I heard about Alan. I was watching a Hungry Box video, and he knows Alan personally and said like, he wouldn't expect him to do this kind of stuff. It's really crazy for him to even think that Alan is, doing shady things behind the scenes. But something that he said, and I really wish I didn't forget to say this, and I don't know if you guys know this, but what Hungry Box was saying is this wouldn't be about money for him, because I think he said Alan is a doctor, and there's way more money to be involved with that and other places than to come to the Smash scene and think that this is where you're gonna really make your money. So I just want to say that I forgot that I did hear that Alan is, I believe he said a doctor.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually I've been right here in his name. It's Dr. Alan B. So yeah, this dude has money, and he probably has good money, to where I don't know if this is gonna affect him heavily, to be honest. I think this probably isn't his main career. It seemed like he was doing this as a passion, because maybe he likes Smash or what else. I don't know if he was really involved in Smash, but maybe he was just involved in esports. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I'll respond to that quickly, in saying that one thing that I've noticed about people who are really wealthy is a lot of the time the wealth just kind of becomes whatever, and it becomes more about, well, I want the clout, basically the notoriety. I like having people who look up to me, who respect me, who and I don't, when I say this, I don't mean it in a derogatory way necessarily, but people who answer to me, Like
Yeah, he
I
wants power.
enjoy, right. I enjoy being the boss. Maybe not even in a malicious way, but people who are rich, they really, I've noticed that they gravitate towards that. Just because, I mean, being rich in of itself, it's like it's like a different world almost. When you start talking to those people, they live in an entirely different world.
Yeah.
And so I could imagine that being able to sort of have that authority is something. I mean, just look at, not to get into politics, but I mean, look at politicians who, fight to keep their seats for 80 years at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, why would they want to keep that seat? It's not just because of money. I mean, when you get off of term, after you've like served for a number of years, you still get a salary, right? Like you're still paid like a senator.
Yeah.
It's because you got the influence along with it. People, you like it when people listen to you.
It's all for the namesake, basically.
Yeah. So other than them getting on him for playing League and not wanting him to live his life, here's another link. Someone else who took it way too far. This dude.
I saw this. I saw this.
This was wild, dude. He's talking about all my emotions from watching the Panda situation unfold. I'm like, nobody knows who you are. You're not a notable player or anything.
Jesus, I cannot believe that people take the time to do this kind of stuff.
The making of the "Was It Worth It" Alan logo redesign.
Like, oh my god.
Look at
That's
this
crazy.
dude. Root beer
Dude.
222.
We should probably not venture into his profile any more than we have.
Yeah, I agree with that. Looking at that banner, it's already not promising.
I don't know,
already
guys.
not
We
fun.
should
No.
This guy made his banner though.
Oh, but I'm saying what he could be into. I don't want to find out.
I
I
kind of
don't want to
do.
find out. All right, you can find out on your own time. You can find
I was
out on
gonna
your
say
own
the
time
exact
off
same.
stream. Look, I'll say this: the designs do go kind of hard. They do go
I
kind of
mean,
hard,
I
but
guess.
It looks so depressing, bro. Like, I don't want to look at a depressed panda.
I mean, like if this was part of like a story arc, like the cracked panda insignia,
Oh,
that'd be kind of nice imagery. That'd be some nice imagery, but this is
I'm
real
ready to
life,
get off this, bro.
and
This
it's
is
it's excessive. Yeah, like if they made this just for fun, I'd be like, yo, that's kind of dope. But
this is why
in
the
response
Smash
to this
community is just
situation,
so.
like look at that, bro. There's no need for all of that.
Dynamite.
So, like, if you're taking it this far, you need to sit down. I saw people saying, like, people were trying to make jokes about the situation, and some people were like, "Bro, it's not funny. Too soon. Not even too soon. It's just not funny. Like, you
It's
shouldn't joke
not,
about
no.
this." Like, dog. And these are coming from. It's not even like
man.
these are top players that are saying it's not funny, who have their source of income at stake. This is just random players who you never see go better than 2-2 at a major. You know, not saying. Well, I mean, you get what I'm saying, where it's like, it's not even like your livelihood is at stake.
Right.
You play this game for fun.
That's been my gripe with the Smash community for years now. But we're done
No,
with that.
same.
We're done. We're
Yeah.
done with all that. Did you guys want to talk about a potential next Smash at all while we're, or that could run on for far too long?
Yeah, and I feel like anything that we have to say has probably been said already. So
And it's just, a lot of it's just speculation anyway. So
yeah, just gotta wait and
very,
see.
very true.
Just gotta wait
Let's
and
move
see.
on. Let's move on to talking about something a little more fun. Maybe I don't know if it's more fun because the Game Awards are never really that fun. But we got the Game Awards.
The
Game
Game
Awards are coming
Awards.
up. 2 days away?
Jeff Keighley, baby,
We got
Yes,
our
sir.
boy Jeff Keighley, the man, the myth, the legend.
who saved gaming.
He saved gaming with his ugly ass blue shoes that one year.
That was terrible, dude.
So first off, do you guys plan on watching the Game Awards?
I'll watch it if we stream it. Outside of that, probably not.
I've
I
been wondering
can't
if we're going to
anyway,
stream
so.
it. Jake, you won't be able to.
No,
You're
because
gonna
it's
be busy,
Thursday,
right?
and that's literally yeah,
Yeah, you're
quite literally the day
So-
of. So
To be honest,
pretty much impossible.
at first I thought the idea of streaming the Game Awards was going to be fun, but then I remembered the last 3 years, and it's probably not going to be very fun. It's 3 hours of boring stuff, maybe a couple of cool things in there.
I've heard a lot of rumors about about a fair few good trailers and game reveals. So, I mean, to be fair, this year there are a lot of games that are coming up that are highly anticipated, and even more games that we've heard about that were waiting to be revealed still.
Well, let's talk about that then, Cisco. Maybe they're rumors, or maybe they aren't. What do you want to see at the Game Awards?
So there have been rumors about Street Fighter 6. I'd love to see more of that. I'd say one really big one is Final Fantasy 16. We haven't heard anything about that game since it was revealed, and I think 2019, 2020.
I heard some stuff about it.
Like we
Have you heard about? I believe it's been said to be rated M,
yeah.
and it has like nudity and sexual referencing and all kinds of just crazy stuff that I had no idea went on in Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
like drug usage.
Yeah,
It's gonna be pretty dark.
sounds
That
like
also
it, but
sounds like. That also sounds very fan servicey.
It's like The Witcher, but Final Fantasy. Well, I don't think they'll cross the line of like if you've played or seen The Witcher, that has like full on nudity in it. I'm pretty sure they said not full on nudity, but like references to it.
Oh,
So I'd imagine because like they've always had like scantily clad characters, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of that. But I don't think they'll be like just straight up
Oh,
on screen. Like I don't think we're gonna get any of that.
All
I
right.
think
I hope
Square
so.
Enix.
I hope so.
You're not even gonna play it,
It's,
I mean,
bro. I
he's
cannot.
not even good.
I cannot be in my room playing that, and then one of my housemates walks into my room looking at my screen. No, thank you. I am not
mean,
about that
no.
life. I am not about that life.
it says nudity in it, right?
Partial.
Hmm.
Pretty sure it was partial.
Yeah, there's gonna be something freaky going on in that game. It's
Well-
called Final Fantasy for a reason. You know what I'm
About
Oh
saying?
to
yeah,
be
real
rated
funny.
A for A. So
Yeah, they should. They might as well just go the extra mile and make it rated A for adults.
Rated A for adults. Is that a real game rating?
it
that
is,
a
but I
real-
don't
I
think
thought
it's
it
rated-
was.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, hold on.
I don't know.
I actually, because it is a real rating. It's just for some reason I don't think they like make it public
I
for
don't-
some reason.
I don't think that's for video games.
It is for
Mm.
video games, but it's
I
just
don't
for
know.
specific video games.
You never played some
Rated
triple
AO
X
rated
video games, Cisco?
Wikipedia. Here we go.
Oh yeah, let me get on Newgrounds real quick. I can do that.
There are 27 total
bu-
games
it's a button
released in
masher?
this rating.
It's a rhythm game.
There are
I'm sure
27
those
total
exist.
games. 27 total games
Yo,
rated
we should-
AO.
We should stream one. We should find the most
No.
explicit,
Bro,
Oh no.
fucked up
you-
game.
You need
I want to play a rhythm
Can some-
sexual game.
can somebody I'm not even on the right account. I don't have authority right now. I need to mute
Hey,
you.
Hang on, let me close my screen. I'm gonna go look for something real quick.
Wait, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was rated A.
No, there's no way.
That's what it says.
Rated A games. I'm gonna search rated A games. Rated A for
That's what-
awesome.
Bro.
What games are rated A?
Well, anyway, as I was saying,
Yeah,
There's-
you keep going. We'll
outside
talk
of
about
the-
much more important.
outside of the initial Final Fantasy
What
16
the-
trailer, we have not seen anything else from the game. So I'm looking forward
What is
to
this,
seeing.
bro?
Why
You
are
should
you
not
looking
have
this-
gone down this rabbit hole, bro.
Wait up. Yo, what is this? Hang on, guys.
I have to tell you about one game off screen. Oh my god.
Have you guys played this game before?
I have seen this game. I do not
Where'd you
have
go,
enough
Cisco?
strength.
Cisco, come back.
He willingly went to Clowntown. He's willingly going to Clowntown at this point just to avoid.
All right, it's off the screen, Cisco. You don't have to be on the same screen as this game, as Larry. I won't repeat what the name of this game is called. It's gone, Cisco. You can come back now. Wait, I brought it back on accident. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Audio listeners, you're gonna just have to watch. You're just gonna have to watch the video on YouTube.
No,
All right, well,
you will
Cisco-
not.
Cisco's gone.
Don't. Please.
I am sorry. I've derailed us for far too long. Go ahead, Cisco. Keep talking about the Game Awards. I am so sorry.
My man said, the longer I thought about the Game Awards, the more bored I got. And the moment we start talking about the Game Awards, he gets so bored. He gets so bored.
I didn't get bored. I was just sidetracked. That's all.
Let me go find.
I was sidetracked. That's all.
All right. Well, anyways.
Anchor shot.
You know, when you said you had good stuff on that soundboard, I didn't think you meant for me.
What else would he have meant by it? Like,
I've
come
got,
on, you
I've
know.
got more coming. I've got more coming. I just didn't have time this week to add the new stuff that I got coming. I'm
He's
sorry.
gonna be
I'm
busy
sorry.
playing League of Legends
Let's
too.
go.
That's okay.
I'm about to just go eat my chicken, bro. I'm about to just go eat my jerk chicken and my macaroni.
No, man, you're here. This is our pod, bro. You can't leave to go eat chicken.
Maybe I appreciated. Maybe I didn't appreciate enough the days where we would just do a podcast and not do it again for another 4 months.
Nah,
anyways,
that's not the case.
Anyways,
Game Awards.
I am looking forward to seeing something about Final Fantasy 16, about Street Fighter 6. Apparently, Tekken 8 is anticipated as well. What other games were rumored?
Is there?
I mean, I was gonna say Half-Life 3, but Half-Life 3 reveals
that's a legend.
have been supposed to come out every year for the past like 20
year.
years. So
are there any? But do you have any that aren't just rumored and things that you just like would just hope to see there? Like maybe some crazy ideas.
I don't know about anything crazy. I would love to see some more Kingdom Hearts 4. I'd love to see some more Breath of the Wild 2.
Metroid Prime 4?
They're not showing Metroid Prime 4 off.
He's given up all hope on that. The hope is gone.
Metroid Prime 4 will be revealed when they reveal either a new console or an updated Switch.
I agree with that.
That game's not coming out until they have new hardware. That game's not coming out until they make new hardware. So,
I'm glad you finally have accepted reality.
They probably they obviously won't like
depression, bro. Nothing but depression.
But when do you
think
this
man thought the game was coming out 3 years ago?
This dude's like this guy is like a poor like Bayo. He's like in the same bus as the Bayo fans were.
Do not put Metroid fans together with Bayo fans. It is not the same thing. It is not the same. Prime 3 came out like 10 years ago, dude. 10 years ago.
That's true.
Bayo fans had to wait like 5 years for another game. We are not
it's a similar situation. No, it's a similar situation though, because it was announced and then
they're crying about it just as hard.
By. A lot of time has gone by.
Yeah, they are crying about it just as hard. They didn't wait 10 years. And then do you know how long we've been waiting for a sequel to Metroid Fusion 4 before Dread? You know how long that was?
Maybe
I wouldn't even consider it waiting after
I lost count. I lost count.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't even waiting anymore.
It's just
it's not Metroid Prime form anymore.
The crazy thing about this is that like the sequels were always like teased in both of those cases.
And they kept getting teased, weren't they?
No. They didn't keep getting teased. As we got word that a new Metroid game was coming out, and then it turned out to be Metroid Soccer, basically. That's what happened. That's what happened.
Here comes the Federation Force slander.
That's what happened. That is the only thing that was teased.
One of the most depressing times I've ever seen Cisco in is when they announced Federation Force.
Dude, that was heartbreaking. I'm not gonna get into it. But that I still can't get over that.
All right, Jake, you have any things you're excited for from the Game Awards? Anything you want to see? Any rumored games? Any just games that you just want to see?
I want to see a new NASCAR game.
I want to see Fire Emblem.
There's not been. It was specifically with NASCAR. Like even the new NASCAR game just looks really horrible.
If he said a NASCAR game, I would have kicked him for good forever.
Oh no! Are you kidding? New NASCAR.
I want to see a NASCAR at the Game Awards.
They're all shit anyway. But yeah, no, I'm not really too excited, to be honest. Right now, I'm honestly hoping there isn't, because like my backlog is way too full right now when it comes to games, and I have like so many. There's so many games I need to experience that I need to play that I'm like, I don't even need a new game right now.
You like, need to hop off Fire Emblem.
Well,
that's to put Fire Emblem down for a little while.
like that's the other thing is that since the new Fire Emblem game's coming out in January, like that's like the only thing I want to look forward to, and I'm like, I don't need to touch anything else after that. Well, okay, besides Triangle Strategy, because I also want to buy a Triangle Strategy full too, so that's another. But
All right. I mean, makes sense. Makes sense. You're not really excited for anything because you want to get to the games that you have that you just haven't been able to play yet.
yeah,
And
fair.
on top of that, the only game in the future you are excited for is Fire Emblem, and nothing's going to top that. So,
yeah.
So, yeah, there's
well, the Pokemon surprisingly didn't excite me for the first time ever too. So like that was like
I am proud. I am very proud of you.
I honestly I'm like conflicting with myself. I don't know if I should feel proud of myself or if
You
I'm
should.
like losing touch with myself.
No,
So
no,
it's
no,
like
no, no, no,
like
no,
this
no,
isn't
no.
normal,
No,
but yeah, most people are saying like they kind of sympathize with that too. So it's like it's okay not to be excited about this game, like just because of how it looks and everything. But at the same time, like I also know that the gameplay and everything was great, like we talked about. But it's just like, yeah, the gameplay is great, but like I also said that even in the Discord too, I'm like I'm almost kind of content with just playing the older games. Heck, I'm even content playing BDSP still, which is
okay.
crazy to
All
me.
right.
That is
So, like,
Gage is like, all right, this is where I tap out.
That's.
This is where I tap
I was
out.
waiting for Jake to say some very Jake-like things, and that was it right there.
There it
There-
is. The BDSP.
I am very biased for
Uh,
BDSP, but yeah.
Yeah, I fell off of that pretty quickly. I fell off of it pretty quickly. Yeah, you guys know me. They could show off Tears of the Kingdom, and I'll be happy. So that's all I really need.
This is
Hey, he's the
this is
same
Mr.
thing. It's like
Nintendo right here.
for me, it's yeah, exactly.
This is Mr. Nintendo right here.
That's all I need.
Lame.
He's excited the same way with Zelda that I am with Fire Emblem.
You play much more Fire Emblem
Yeah, I was
than
gonna say
I
I
play
don't
Zelda.
know about that. I don't know about that.
I'll play Zelda when it comes out, and then I won't play it again for a long, long time.
See, because I introduced you to Fire Emblem, but I think you like Fire Emblem more than I do now. and that's my favorite. That's still my favorite franchise.
To be honest, that's also kind of like the fear I have with like going into the Zelda series. That's like I'm gonna fall in love with it too much that I'm gonna start going through Breath of the Wild and I'm gonna like 100% the game and I'm not gonna put it down for like a whole decade.
You're not 100% in that game. You're not.
The Korok seeds are will probably be the death of you.
Yeah, there are so many tiny little things that you need to do, like so many that would have to be the well. I guess like you said, you wouldn't put it down for 10 years, but it's just so tedious.
Well, Jake, do you
feels like
100%
Skyrim.
every game that you like?
So when I was younger, I didn't, but like I think I since I've as I've grown older, yeah, I've been trying to 100% like most now these days.
And yeah, I know quite a few people that like feel like they
Within
don't
reason.
really complete the game if they don't 100% it. And I am completely opposite of that. I like playing a game for my own experience and beating the story, and if I can continue playing it after that, that's great. But I don't consider 100% to be the only way to beat a game.
Yeah.
But if you're that way, yeah, if you play Breath of the Wild, you're gonna be on it for a long time. So I would say if you were trying to play Zelda at all, you could literally play any of the other games and probably 100% them relatively quickly if you play it pretty consistently.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But Breath of the Wild in particular,
Yeah, that one.
so many
No.
tedious tasks. So many tedious tasks to 100% it.
Let alone the shrines. All like the gear you can find in the game. I don't know if that counts towards 100%.
Wow.
But
Man,
all of the
like-
gear, all like the gear, and then there's the Korok seeds.
How many of
And
those
isn't
are
there
there?
like
Like
900?
300?
There's like, I think it's like 900 something, right? Whew.
This really sounds like this game
Let me
is
look
so
it up.
deep.
I mean, it is, but the stuff we just talked about isn't very deep. It's just like menial
It's so
things that are
stupid.
scattered throughout the world. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 900 Korok seeds in
Like
Breath of the
don't get me
Wild.
wrong. You can do a lot of exploring and find some pretty dope things the further you go out, like meaningful things. But there are also a lot of things that just don't mean anything, and they're there just to be in the game.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
accessories.
that's for sure.
Pretty much.
And go ahead.
No, I was just going to reiterate what I just said.
Something I'm thinking about though, Jake, I do think you like lore and story a lot, to where I
Yeah.
actually think you would probably find more enjoyment out of Breath of the Wild if you did play a couple of other Zeldas before it.
Mm-hmm.
Only because Breath of the Wild, you know, it touches on the whole entire series in a lot of ways. Sometimes it's just the
Oh.
name of a location you're in, but there's other parts where you'll actually see like landmarks from other games in ruin now, and
Yeah.
it's just really cool
Wow.
when you know like the backstory to those. I think if you
Oh,
played
that's cool.
Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess before you played, and maybe even Wind Waker before you played Breath of the Wild, I think you'd probably get even more enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, gotcha.
Um,
I've definitely like was planning on like kind of starting from ground zero and like starting from the beginning too. So like,
the timeline,
but
or
at the
from
same
like
time,
the actual first Zelda game.
probably from like I don't know what
There's a
was the
lot.
first Zelda game? Wasn't that like was it the first Zelda game on like the Famicom?
Yeah, on the NES. Well, so the timeline is different than like the actual release order.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I figured as much.
I was just curious if you wanted to start from the start of the timeline or if you wanted to, do the release order.
Skyward Sword,
Do you
baby.
think the timeline would be better?
No,
Mm, I think the timeline's stupid.
no. The timeline.
I don't think
Don't bother. Don't
yeah,
bother following the
I think the
timeline.
timeline is really, really dumb. And some things are cool about the timeline, but I definitely think at a certain point Nintendo was just like, you know what? Let's make these games connect even though they don't really connect at all.
Yeah, like
That's kind of sounds like the thing with what's it called? That Z one? I forget the
other M.
Other
that
M?
one other M. That's the one. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah. The one retro didn't do. Yeah, I know you like that nostalgic 2D look, so I would recommend you play A Link to the Past and
Best game
Minish
of all
Cap.
time.
And Minish
Ooh,
Cap.
Minish Cap. Minish Cap is
Yeah,
So like
I think
for
if you,
me, I
'cause,
do
like,
like the
you'll
2D stuff. I just don't know if like I think I'm fine with the Super Famicom. I'm not like huge on the Famicom itself, so I
no
don't mind like going Super Famicom to to
A
today.
Link to the Past. A Link to the Past was super.
SNES.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was super.
Oh,
It's the best game of all time. It's the
It
best game of
is
all
it is very good. I still think it's the best Zelda. I still think it
all
is.
right. So that
It's like the perfect well, near perfect game in general, but it's the perfect 2D game.
they
I agree.
remake the one from on the NES.
Sort of. They sort of upscaled it
They-
for Game Boy.
No,
okay.
well, you're probably so there was Link's Awakening for the Game Boy has been remade for the Switch.
Yeah. And then they made a
Okay.
sequel for A Link to the Past called A Link Between Worlds for 3DS.
Yeah.
You might be thinking
There's a
of
lot
either
of
one
2D
those.
Zelda. There's a lot of 2D Zelda you could play if you wanted to. I would just say, you're weird, so you'll probably end up liking the DS games. You'll probably like for some odd reason be like, the Phantom Hourglass is one of my favorites. But for me personally, the 2DS games I think are the worst in the series. But that's a lot for someone to take in who hasn't played it at all. I would what
Yeah,
Cisco said, if you just play A Link to the Past as a 2D Zelda,
and then
and if you
play
want to play another
Ocarina of
one,
Time
Minish Cap,
for 3D.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be good.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah, I definitely need to get that.
keep in mind Zelda games are they are time commitments. So like they're not going to
No
be like
kidding.
60. They're not going to be 60-hour long games, but a link to the past is a link to the past. Is that the longest regular Zelda game?
Mm,
If you don't count
I think.
Breath of the Wild.
Well, I would say it's definitely longer than Breath of the Wild. If you're trying to 100%, it's probably the second most longest game.
Okay, yeah,
Just because there's a lot of dungeons and
there's an extra set of dungeons more than usual.
yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, so the game will take a bit, but it's not going to be like how many hours did you put into Fire Emblem Three Houses?
500.
Well, okay.
What?
I don't think.
Just said
I was gonna say that was a
500.
dangerous question.
It's not gonna. All right, you might.
You were expecting him to say like 80 hours,
No, I was
100 hours.
okay. I clocked in about 200 hours on that game. It's really easy to.
My man said 500 hours.
It
It's
is.
really easy to clock in 100 or 200 hours on that game just because of the way it's set up. But was I expecting 5? No. My man has like 3 times more hours than I do.
I respect it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Fire Emblem, but I can respect how much you enjoy it. That's for sure.
So
I think it would have
you
been
might.
dwindled down to 200 if it wasn't for the 4 routes inside the game. So
I still haven't played 2 of them. So
Well,
But,
that's why you're only at
yeah.
half the amount of hours he is.
well, I mean, I've replayed one of the routes 3 times. So
I've replayed every
still,
route 2
I still
times.
think. Well, there it is. Alrighty.
Yeah.
So
All right,
yeah,
we can wrap up our Zelda pitch for
a,
Jake.
a Link to the Past will probably do you in about 30 hours.
And I believe you have Nintendo Online. It's right there on
Yeah.
the SNES Online. Real easy to go pick up
Oh,
and
I
play.
do not have that actually.
You-
That's
How
okay.
do you
I
not
have my
How do you?
No, like you don't
No.
you don't pay the $20 for online services?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
No,
like-
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I thought you were talking about the
No,
what's it
not
called?
the
The
extended
Plus.
package, not the extended
yeah, the
package.
extended package. Okay, gotcha.
No, just the basic online. You get
Yeah.
SNES games on that, and A Link to the Past is on
Okay,
there.
yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, so definitely go try that out in
I
one
hope
3D
it's not
Zelda
hard
game.
to play because for some reason I don't know why this is, but for some reason it's hard for me to play Metroid 1 on the
It's not that old. It's not that old. It controls like a 2D Pokemon game.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It's top
All right,
down.
cool.
Yeah, it's 16-bit era. It's not the 8-bit era.
Because I just don't know why. Because I played Metroid 1 for like
I don't think you
couple-
should. I'm never
Don't-
gonna touch that game.
don't-
I'm not.
Don't play Metroid 1 or 2 ever.
Man, hold
Don't
on.
play
Wait,
Metroid 1 or 2.
whoa. Well, are you telling me you were
Oh,
gonna
boy.
try out Metroid and you started with 1?
You were gonna try out Metroid
Yes,
and you
and
didn't
then-
talk to me. Just ask
this
me.
is a while ago.
Just go play.
Just
This is
ask
a while
me.
ago
Super.
too.
Go play Super.
No,
But there,
go
I also
go play
learned
Zero
about
Mission.
the existence of Zero Mission. Exactly. I learned about the existence of Zero Mission, and I was starting to play that actually on my DS. So
Okay. Alrighty. All right. Yeah. Never touch Metroid 1 or 2. Ever.
Just the remakes. Just the remakes.
Just the remakes.
They're
Those
both
games,
remade.
Look,
Yeah.
if you once you have a taste for Metroid and you want to say I want to experience these like in their truest form, then I suppose, but don't introduce yourself to the series like that. Metroid is not
Alright,
like those are not a representation of Metroid at all. Those games are terrible.
But I did start playing Zero Mission a little bit, and then I realized, oh my god, I need a map. So
That is, yeah, you'll need a map for every Metroid game. And some maps are better than others. Some maps are definitely better than others. But now that we've talked about what we want to see at the Game Awards, I guess we can just sort of move into what our personal top 5, or not top 5, our personal games of the year.
Yes,
Anybody Anybody want to have a go at it first?
Honestly, I think it's just going to be between Elden Ring and God of War. And unfortunately, well, here's the thing.
For you personally,
personal.
You personally, like what is what?
Unfortunately, I
And it
didn't
doesn't.
play any of the game of. Oh, for
It
me
is-
personally, I think.
And so it doesn't have to be any game that came out this year. It can just be any game you've played and you very much
Okay.
enjoyed.
Oh, then you know what? I need a minute to think about it. I'll let you one of you go. You
All
guys
right,
go first.
I can go. I can go right now. The game, I think I've played only one game this year that I really loved that actually came out this year. Cisco, you already know what it is.
I already know what it is.
That's easily above and beyond Tunic.
That game is phenomenal.
Which we're sitting here pitching Zelda to Jake, but if you want another great Zelda experience, just play Tunic.
Tunic is a top 3 Zelda game, and it's not Zelda.
Tunic is a top 3 Zelda game, exactly, and that's from the whole entire Zelda series, not just like 2D or anything like that. Tunic is the top 3 Zelda game for sure.
Such a good game.
That game, I think it came out in March. We were, Cisco and I were both excited for it. And it dropped, and I was hooked pretty quickly, and the game was a lot better than I even expected it to be.
Yeah, we were already excited for it because we're like, this looks like what modern 2D Zelda would turn into. But we were not prepared for what we were getting ourselves into at all. As even as hyped as we were.
The bosses are better than they're harder than Zelda bosses. The game overall is way harder than the Zelda game. But they did the secrets and just exploration so well.
Mm-hmm. It's Zelda. So well. It's Zelda, but with Metroid level design.
Yeah, it's actually a lot like that, which is like almost the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
for me, it felt nostalgic. Cisco, I think you were saying this. It felt nostalgic, even without you ever playing it before. And that's not just because it felt like a Zelda game. Like, it has its own identity as well. And the feeling the game has, just the vibe it puts you in, because it doesn't have like a happy soundtrack over the top. It's a really vibey soundtrack, and it kind of it sets the tone for the whole entire game.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, one really cool thing about the game is the way that the way it does its story, the way it sets up its lore. It does so in a very old-fashioned way. And so right off the bat, one thing that you probably notice without actually noticing is that the map of the world and the instructions to play the game, it is in the form of a storybook. And everything you need to know about the game are in the pages that you collect in the storybook. So when you collect the map,
you collect these within the game, throughout the world.
Yeah. Throughout the world, you collect these things, and they give you hints about what to do and where to go. And there are secrets hidden within it and the smaller, finer details of that manual. Because it's organized like a traditional game manual. Like when you get a Super Nintendo game, you open it up and then there's the manual and how it has all that cool stuff, letting you know how to play, giving you backstory for the games, because games back then didn't give you too much story like they do now, at least in comparison. And so, like, between the numbers and the symbols and everything, it's hidden. The secrets of the game and how to advance are hidden in there. And if you don't notice it, you won't continue. But when you discover something new,
it's also, the game is in its own language. So a lot of the stuff in the manuals, you only can kind of see through pictures, and it has text, but you can't decipher what it is because you don't know this language that it's in. And so there's a lot of stuff in there that you might see from, your first maybe 3 hours of playing the game. And some of that stuff you might not come to realize until you're, 15 hours in, like, oh, it's been there the whole time. I just had no idea that's what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off there, but I thought that was like another good point about the manual.
No, yeah, I think that was something good to mention. And then the story, even though it's not outright told to you and it's not like the main driving force of the game, it's still there, and you can get different endings depending on how you complete the game, and it's wild. It's wild because the story doesn't go in a direction that you expect it to at all. It's good, and it's good. Again, it's not super overbearing. It's a very simple, basic story, but between the lore that's hidden hidden in the environment, to the bosses you fight, to the giant set pieces that are in the game, it's all just so much of a spectacle to take in. It's so cool. So cool.
Definitely. Easily the best game of the year for me. I don't know if you're going to mention anything about it too, Cisco, but for me personally, I'll also say it didn't come out this year, but I played Resident Evil 8 this year. I don't think either of you are too big on Resident Evil, so I won't drag this for too long. I'll just say if you liked 7, 8 is I'd say it's almost just as good, if not a little better, depending on what you like within Resident Evil. It's a little less about horror, and it's a little more action based, kind of pulling from Resident Evil 4 a little bit more. But I thought the game was really, really, really good. And I am excited to see where they go from here if they keep the series in first person. They're remaking Resident Evil 4 that comes out next year, which I'm pretty excited for as well. Actually, that is something I do hope they show that at the Game Awards too. I forgot about that. I hope they show off more of that. Resident Evil 4 is still my favorite Resident Evil.
That game looks good.
Yeah, it's looking super good. I am currently playing Metroid Prime, and that probably will end up being. I'll probably end up enjoying that more than Resident Evil 8, and maybe more than Tunic, depending on how it goes. But for right now, it's not up to those levels yet for me. I think I'm at a 40% of the game. I'm almost halfway, judging by what it says when I start the file. So I know there's a lot of good stuff to come still, but I'm really, 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 really enjoying it as my first time playing Metroid Prime. Trying to think if there's anything else I've played this year that I enjoyed. I think that was it. But for this year and this year alone, that came out this year, Tunic for sure.
Okay. So I'll go next in case Jake still needs some more time. I have 2 runner-ups. One of them didn't even come out this year, but I discovered it this year. The first runner-up is Risk of Rain 2. It is what's called it's called a roguelike. It's on Steam. I'm not going to say too much about the game, but it's a survival-based game where you collect items, pick a character, you try to advance to the levels and survive, beat the boss. There are a couple of different routes. Super fun. I've sunk about 250 hours in it. It's super, super well-designed game if you're looking for a roguelike. I did not expect to like it as much as I did when I bought it, but me and some friends just hopped on it, played it, and just got super into it. The next runner-up is actually going to be Gage's game of the year, which is Tunic. The game, we've already said a lot about it. Absolutely fantastic game. I didn't think anything was going to top it for me personally. The game was honestly that good. Like we said, it's a top 3 Zelda game without it being a Zelda game. Better than oh my goodness. When we do our Zelda bracket, I might just stick Tunic on it.
We should actually do that. I would love to do that. I would actually love to do that when we do that.
Because that game is so good.
I would like to see where it compares.
Yeah, got to get some more people to play that game. But my actual game of the year, I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I put off buying it for like 7 months, 7 or 8 months. The game came out in March, just like Tunic, and I told myself I was going to get it when it came out, and I didn't. And every time I looked at it, I'm like, I don't feel like spending $60 on this game. I'm sure I'll like it, but I don't want to spend $60 on this game. And one day, after I got my PC built, I'm like, you know what? I got a little bit of extra money. I'll buy the game, and I guess I'll play it. I've been putting it off for too long because I didn't want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I still have not touched. So I went ahead and I turned on Triangle Strategy. And
Oh yeah.
good God, Project Triangle Strategy is everything I could ever want in an RPG. Personally, I like this more than the vast majority of the Fire Emblem games that I played. And Fire Emblem was my favorite franchise. The the battle system is like, if you've ever heard of or seen or played Final Fantasy Tactics, it's very similar to that. It's still turn-based, but turns are not determined in phases like Fire Emblem. It's determined by character stats. And the battle mechanics are actually much deeper. The game is more difficult than the majority of Fire Emblem games. I think there are a couple that etch it out still, but the difficulty is like perfect. And the thing that really puts it over the edge for me is the story. The writing in that game is some of the best writing I've ever experienced in fiction, period. The story is absolutely phenomenal, and the way that it works is you make decisions in the game that affect where the story goes. There are branching paths that always lead back to some of the same core decisions. There are three or four core decisions in the game that don't change, like no matter what. But everything in between, all the other contents of the story, change depending on the decisions you make. And it even affects what characters you can recruit over the course of the game. So like if you don't have a certain amount of points, because like there are invisible points that keep track, or that that keep track of all the decisions you made. Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a certain amount of points, then you can't get X character.
Yeah.
And it's just it's so engaging. And like the urge to not look up what the other routes do before they happen is so strong. But I promise, if you don't do it. Just experiencing the story firsthand. Like, I didn't expect to get emotionally invested in the tiny little sprites that they have, because the game does have sprite work.
That's what I want to say, man. Those 2D HD games look amazing to me.
They look
I would love.
beautiful.
They do look.
I want so many other games in that same like engine that they do that in. I would love some other games to be made in that.
Yeah, I saw somebody say, "What if Pokemon went like that?" Could you imagine?
That's what I was trying to say in our first episode when we were talking about Pokemon is I do think the series would benefit from just a totally different style. I don't know if it needs to be the HD 2D, but I think even if Pokemon was in a similar camera view, over the top angle, even like how Animal Crossing sort of was, it might benefit more from that. But yeah, but that's besides the point. That HD 2D engine that the Square Enix does stuff in is amazing, and I want to see Mario RPG remade in that engine. That's like
slick.
That's kind of like a dream.
Bit of a pipe dream.
What I would like. Yeah, I would love to see that though.
That does
BDSP
sound
is
nice.
also over the top angle.
It looks nothing like that though.
It looked nothing.
I know.
Nothing like that.
I know that the BDSP is like the biggest thing is the artwork, and people are turned off by how it looks and everything. But I honestly wasn't. It looks way better than what Diamond and Pearl looked like for me. So I mean, that was a huge upgrade, and I think that the region, the beauty of the region needed like a spice up, and I think it actually spiced it up really nicely. Plus Cloud Shadows, which is actually kind of innovative for Pokemon for once.
All right. I'm talking about my game. I'm talking about my game of the year. All right. This is not your chance to plug your favorite Pokemon game. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, you gave me the perfect reason, the perfect pitch of why I need to buy this why I need to buy Triangle Strategy.
The game is like, if you like tactical RPGs, and you don't like Fire Emblem, but you still like tactical RPGs, or you
What
do like Fire
exactly
Emblem.
even is that? What exactly even makes a tactical RPG?
So the difference
'Cause
between a tactical
all of that
RPG
stuff looks
and
the
a
same to me.
regular RPG is that tactical RPGs usually revolve around something akin to a board. It's all about movement, moving your pieces on the board.
Mhm.
Whereas a regular RPG is usually something that is it has more to do with it's more of a game of stats
Mhm.
and item
And only a
collection.
few characters. Yeah, and only a few characters compared to like a tactical RPG
Yeah.
where you can have a lot more, and there's a lot more moving pieces. And a
Yeah,
regular
like
RPG, you have like only a couple things and here and there, and then you have like a set amount
yeah,
that
so
you can
like
work
if you
with.
see Final Fantasy, the characters are lined up and they all get their turn to
Yeah.
attack.
Okay,
Yep.
that's all I need to know. I know I
Yeah.
won't like this, so
Yeah, so
I know this game is not for
that
me.
that is probably not. um but yeah, so if you're somebody who likes tactical RPGs and you're somebody who likes a really good story in a video game, this game has both of those. Very compelling characters, very deep battle mechanics. I mean, the only thing I can say is while the 2D HD art is very good looking and I very much appreciate it and I like that games are still doing that. This game in particular, with how dramatic it is, if this game was 3D, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Like this, I think it could have won Game of the Year if it was
3D
3D.
as in like it
Like
was
full
just like
3D
a
model.
third person?
No, 3D isn't like full 3D model, like the same way like a Final Fantasy
Really?
game would be. The
Man,
story is super because a
It
lot of
would be.
people were comparing it to like Game of Thrones, and you know how
I
popular Game of Thrones was.
yeah, I know, but I do think that there's things you can capture with that 2D HD art style that gets kind of lost, even if the graphics are maybe uh, I don't know, like maybe if they're technically better or today's like modern, like it's a little more modern. I think that the 2D HD style has its own sort of like character to it that makes it.
I agree. I think at least if the cutscenes were fully 3D animated at the very least, even if the
Mhm,
gameplay stayed in that same 2D-ish style, if the
mhm,
cutscenes themselves, because the only issue is that there's a lot of emotion in these cutscenes, and the
mhm.
facial expressions won't ever capture that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and the body language won't either.
yeah, I get that. I get that.
But I love the gameplay the way it is, and I wouldn't change a single thing about it. It's just I would like to see that emotion more expressed through the character models is all.
No, that makes sense.
But
Don't
that's
they
about all I
have
got.
cutscenes too in Triangle Strategy or no?
What's up?
Jake, you broke up a little
Don't
bit.
they, don't they have animated cutscenes in Triangle Strategy?
I mean, they're animated like the sprites are moving.
Oh no, I'm
You
talking
know,
about like straight up
not
like
not
it would be in like three houses or something. That like there's
no
some like
not,
some
not
actual.
nothing rendered. No,
Okay.
no rendered cutscenes.
For some reason, I could have sworn there was when I was
It's
playing.
not.
Anyway, I was playing the demo because I was playing the demo for this game, and I for some reason thought like in the beginning there was a cutscene or something like that. But I do love the sprite work they did for this game. Absolutely love the sprite work, and honestly, like I was in the same kind of boat about the narrative where I was just like, wow, this is so cool. Like all of your decisions actually really impact how you're going to play the game throughout the entire gameplay. And the one thing about the narrative that I really love is that every single character felt so engaging. Nobody felt like a put off character or like a side character from what I was experiencing from what I was playing, and it felt like every single character has like their role to play, and they're not put off throughout the entire game, which is crazy. And I think that's very innovative too. That like there's three different paths in every single it's basically based on how you feel how things should be run or like politically or something like that. It almost like the game morphs to what you want or what you think, which is really awesome, I think, for that.
Now, There are 4 paths. There are
Right,
4.
4
There are
paths. Yeah,
There are
yeah.
3 main. There are 3 main paths that you can take for the most part. But if you there's a 4th path that's sort of hidden. It's called the golden route,
Yeah, the
and that's
golden
if you
route.
make
Yeah, okay,
perfect
yeah.
if you make perfect
That's what I heard
decisions
about
throughout the game.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know unless you looked it up. But if you make perfect
Yeah.
decisions, then you get the perfect outcome. But outside of that, every decision that you make has an upside and a downside.
Yeah.
So it leads for some
And
pretty
that's really
bittersweet endings.
yeah. which is still cool because like your decisions affect the result of it either way, which is really cool to see in a tactical RPG. And
Yeah.
as far as the narrative goes, like I know I didn't finish this game, and I definitely intend to buy the full thing. But all the guys that I've talked to that have played this game said that they have never seen a narrative like this game and a story like this game has ever been put out there. One of them has said that he's played a lot of, and this person has played a lot of RPGs. He said this is by far the best video game story I've ever seen or been a part of, which really
Especially out of an
struck me.
RPG.
Yeah,
Especially out of an
especially out of an
RPG. Yeah.
RPG, which made me even more shocked of why and how this game didn't get best narrative for game of the year, which for me.
I don't think people played it. I just
Yeah.
don't think the Game Awards nominees are usually not.
Yeah,
They're usually
Like-
big fan favorite games, really.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. That's
Like, because
just
it didn't
another reason why
it didn't
Game
even get
Awards don't really
nominated.
mean much.
It didn't even get nominated for best tactical RPG. It's not. They put it in just a regular RPG, not tactical. So
I didn't even know there was a
it is
tactical
what it is.
one.
Yeah, there is. But
Really? Wow.
did you have a favorite game you played this year? If you don't, it's fine. But
Yeah, for me it's Pokemon Legends Arceus. It came out last January, but it was just for me it was like it's probably the best game for me, just narratively speaking, because this is a very unique Pokemon game, and this wasn't the bare bones Pokemon that I was used to, and I was actually very happy about that. And I really like the fact that it really explored the actual deep lore that I think the franchise was missing, and like the whole like historic uh exploring and everything and all the historic lore morph with the fact that like the Pokemons themselves are actual beings that some of the people actually worship and everything. That's like that felt like a really good change that the Pokemon I think needed, which is also kind of sad because I feel like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is making that less of a thing. You can get some of those same Pokemon that you could find in Legends Arceus now in Scarlet and Violet, which I think really kind of takes away the whole history thing, because those historic Pokemon were in my mind were supposed to be exclusive to this game, and now it's just going to be more widely available because people want
Yeah, I
the
didn't know they
same
did that.
Pokemon and the same thing. Huh?
I didn't know they did that. That is kind of lame.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
they did that.
I mean, of course
Yeah,
they're going
they
to do that
did.
because
So-
they're getting money from more people, right? They want a higher pool. Oh, your favorite Pokemon from Arceus are in this game too. You know.
Now, from what I
So-
understand, it's not available now, but they apparently are going to make it available for like a home update or something like that too. So
Mm.
I
Yeah,
wish
well-
like maybe they should have like kept like something about it unique to Legends
exactly,
Arceus, though.
that's what I
Like
think.
like even if
Yeah.
it was like a certain color on the Pokemon or something to just kind of keep it identified to it being like an ancient Pokemon from like that. I didn't know they did that.
I guess in that sense, they're probably going to argue, oh, like the golden forms, like before you help them or whatever, is unique to the game because they were
If
all
there's
golden
something,
forms.
as long as there's something, yeah, as long as there's something for me, it'll be good.
It's
but
there, but at the same time, for me, it's like it's still supposed to be a different form. Like the best example I can give you is the other form for Scizor, the first one that we found
Oh,
in the forest. Oh man, I'm already forgetting his name.
That-
I don't
that-
know why I'm forgetting his
you
name.
talking about that ugly evolution?
that
Well,
yellow,
yeah. Like the one that has the stone axe or whatever.
yeah.
I think it's ugly. I think
What
it's ugly,
did you?
but-
To me,
Like-
and not to turn this into Pokemon, I don't want to go down this too far though.
Please
The
don't.
one thing that I loved about Arceus though, that had me so excited about where Pokemon could go, was just I can't tell you how game changing it was to just be able to walk around and throw your Pokeball at the Pokemon. And the fact that you can't do that in order to catch Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet just feels like a huge step backwards to me.
Mm.
I think it's so stupid. That alone made Legends Arceus one of the best Pokemon games. It brought back the feeling that I had as a kid playing Pokemon, catching Pokemon. Was actually seeing Pokemon out in the wild and being able to throw the ball at it from a distance.
And the game didn't have
Yeah.
massive performance issues.
Yeah.
And it looked better. And it just overall looks better.
Mm.
Yeah, but like here's the other
What a
thing too
shame.
is like even the Hisuian forms like of the Hisuian Typhlosion and Samurai and those Pokemon, even like Hisuian Lilligant, like they're all going to be in Scarlet and Violet. That's the unfortunate part. Like they're all going to be available in Scarlet. I wish that was so like actually exclusive to Legends because that, and I get it because like the comp players want it all available because they're like, oh my god, his Hisuian, his Samurai has dark typing and it's gonna help me with the showdown and stuff like that. I get
Money.
it, but at the same time,
Money.
money. I know it's all money, but
So what
you
they
know,
need
as
to,
a,
man, Jake, I have an idea to run by you. I'm just very curious what you think of this.
Mhm.
How would you feel if they took true battling out of Pokemon, right? Like the way that we've known it for so long.
Mhm.
Maybe replace it with something a little different. Maybe something where Pokemon could still fight, but they make a new Pokemon Stadium where you can import the Pokemon that you catch throughout the other games into it and do the true competitive battles that you have known and loved for years. And
Right.
that game, every Pokemon can go into it. You can import it from all the different games from the Pokemon Bank, and that's like the game where you battle. And they focus the mainline games more on story and catching Pokemon, and
Yeah.
less about we making Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing and
Oh.
all this
Yeah.
other stuff that they've been doing.
Not to interject, but I think this would be good if I mean you guys can complete it now, but I think this might be a good segment for
We could
why
probably
haven't they
flesh
made
it out.
this?
You're right. You're right. Jake, don't answer
Yep,
that. We
that's
might do
true.
this as a whole separate topic. That's just something that I've been thinking about for a while now. And yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get back on that at another time. Is there any
All
other
right.
games this year that you played that you want to talk about?
Besides that one, I did play Three Hopes. I also played the new Ruby game that came out a couple weeks ago too. But yeah, I'm not gonna be the typical Jake and pitch those for the game of the year. So
I'll say
Good.
but I do enjoy.
I'll say one of those Ruby games looked all right, and the other one just looked not good. But
Which is which actually. I need to know which.
I know there was one that was like sort of 3D ish, looked like RPG style, and there's another one that was
Oh,
like
is
a
that
2D side scroller.
the
The-
Grim Eclipse is not worth it. Yeah, it's just a straight up beat 'em up game. The other game, and plus that one was like 2019, I think. So it wouldn't even come. It wasn't even this year. But this one, what's it called?
It's the side scroller one, right?
Arrowfell. Yeah, Arrowfell came out just a couple weeks ago. Played through it in 3 days. It was really easy. But actually, for a side scroller, it's actually not that bad of a game. Like it wasn't. It was still pretty enjoyable. It was like there wasn't a lot of innovating stuff. I did like the fact that like you could use semblances and the semblances that you had to use for the characters, like you had to use them to progress through the story and everything, to progress through rules and stuff like that. And every single character has an upgrade system. So obviously, I upgraded twice as fast as I could, and And the story is pretty cool. The story is basically just their first mission when they were in Atlas and everything, and how they were licensed huntresses afterwards. So this is their first
So it's
mission as
nostalgic.
licenses. Yeah, pretty nostalgic.
So it's
I guess.
nostalgic.
But I also wouldn't say it's the best setting anyway for the story. I didn't really like the whole Atlas part of Ruby as much as I did with the other volumes anyway. But but I digress. It was still an enjoyable game. Still liked it. But yeah, definitely nothing spectacular.
As invested as I am into Ruby, despite how garbage it is now, I will probably not play that game because my expectations for side scrollers are sky high. I mean,
Yeah,
when
I mean,
you grow up,
coming from a Mega Man fan, I'm
right.
not surprised.
It's when you grow up
Cisco,
playing,
you still need to play Shovel Knight.
I do. You're right. I do.
The first one, not Dig, not the one I was playing. That game was fun, but it's not
It's not Shovel Knight 1.
It's not Shovel Knight 1. It's a totally
Alrighty.
different game.
All right. So then
Need to play Shovel Knight.
I will play Shovel Knight, and after I play Shovel Knight, I will need you to play Hollow Knight. Now that you've gotten into Metroid.
Oh, we could make that happen. We can make that happen for sure.
But let's not get into that. That's its own segment as well for another time. We've been going on for quite a while. Was there anything else that we wanted to talk about?
No.
All right.
We're too far into this.
then what I want to do is I want to end this off and getting you guys' reaction to a Smash clip.
Let's go.
I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on this.
You sending it to me? Okay.
You might want to make
sure
your
need
sound is on.
Audio? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, why don't you make sure your sound is on?
Hang on. Let me get this. Oh my God. Hang on.
This?
Jake, don't click that. Don't click that. Hey, wait up. Hold on. All right, hang on here. This looks like it's going to be funny. Okay, hang on here.
Jake was already looking at it.
Let's start this one. All right, are you guys ready for this?
Yeah, let's start it.
Oh God! All right.
I'll finish with this.
Hell no, bro! What in the world is this?
I'll finish with this.
Bro, what?
How timely.
I'll finish with this.
You gotta watch it a third time.
I have to see it one more time here.
Is that going on the soundboard?
Hell,
Is this going on the soundboard?
Maybe that could go on someone else's. That's not going on mine. I hate Mariah Carey. I can't stand that damn song. I can't stand her voice.
Dude, I saw that today. I'm like, this is perfect. This is the Smash clip of the day.
That was a good clip. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good clip.
Man.
Oh man.
I don't even watch any Smash clips anymore.
Alrighty. Ooh. So that is all I got. I don't think there's anything else that I have to discuss.
Same.
If you guys are good, then we can wrap this up.
That's about it. Jake, you have anything you want to say?
You're
not gonna be here the next couple weeks, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be here. Well, actually, I'm gonna come next Tuesday. I think next Tuesday.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
hopefully we'll have some Game Awards stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so I'll be here next Tuesday, but after that, I'm gonna be gone. So yeah.
All right.
Well, enjoy your day. Stay warm if you can, and we'll catch you.